Hi there, Albitastic here. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a Windows 10 bootable flash drive using Rufus, a very small but very powerful free program. Once finished, we can use the flash drive to install Windows 10 onto any suitable computer. Okay, let's get started. This is the Windows 10 ISO image we'll be using. It is, at the moment, the latest build 1909 from Microsoft. Now, it's perfectly legal for us to do this. After all, Microsoft makes these images available for just this purpose. This is Rufus, the free program we'll be using in this video to create our Windows 10 bootable flash drive. When we click on Rufus, we bring up this interface, which shows everything we need to create our Windows 10 bootable flash drive. The first thing to note is this box. It shows any flash drives plugged into the computer. Now, you must be very careful to select the correct drive if there are more than one plugged in. Otherwise, you can wipe the wrong drive. In this case, I don't want to use the drive shown. Now, this is the drive that I actually want to use. It's a Kingston 16 gig drive, and the only reason I'm using this one over an 8 gig drive is that, well, they're virtually the same price nowadays, and it's a USB 3 drive, although I'm actually using it on a USB 2 port, simply because the USB 2 port is on the front of the computer and easier to get to. Once we've chosen the flash drive to use, the next box is the boot selection, where you select what will be the boot medium. In this case, we're going to use the ISO image I downloaded from Microsoft. Once I click on the select box, I go to where the ISO image is stored, and I click on it. And once I click on it, it will then show up in the boot selection box. In the next box, we then get two options. Either select a standard Windows installation or Windows to go. In this case, we simply want the standard Windows installation. Now, the next two boxes are very important because here we choose the Partition Standard to be used. This determines whether Windows 10 will be installed on a modern computer, which uses the UEFI standard and usually incorporates Secure Boot, or onto an older computer, often termed Legacy or BIOS. If you're installing Windows 10 on an older computer, then use this partition scheme, the MBR or Master Boot Record Partitioning Standard. The MBR standard has been in use for many years. In fact, it dates back to DOS, but has many limitations, one of which is that it cannot be used for hard drives larger than 2 terabytes. In this installation, we're going to choose the more modern GPT standard. In the next box, we can label the flash drive with a more useful label than the one Microsoft has given it. In this case, I called it Windows 10 UEFI, which describes everything, and so when I insert it in another computer, that is the name which will come up. The next box shows some advanced format options. In this case, I simply left them the same, as there was no need to change any of them. Once we've checked and made certain that everything is correct and we have the correct flash drive in the computer and we've selected the correct ISO image, then we're ready to go. Hovering the mouse over Start will bring up the usual warning you get when you're about to format a drive. Click Start and a second, larger warning will appear. Now, this is the last chance we have to make certain that everything is correct. Once you click OK, the die is cast. Once you click OK, a green status bar will appear to show how the copying is going. At the bottom, we can see the files being copied. Now, sometimes when large files are being copied, it may appear that nothing is happening. But don't worry, this is quite normal. This is the largest file we have to copy, and it'll take some time on USB 2, so we just have to be patient. Now, once the status bar reaches about 95% or so, it may appear to stop altogether for a time, but once again, don't worry, this is perfectly normal. Once the large file has been copied, there are only some smaller files to copy, and then everything will be finalized prior to finishing. Once everything is finished, you'll get a warning about disabling secure boot in order to use the flash drive you've just created. This is a safety feature on modern computers that does not allow anything to boot which has not been digitally signed. This is designed to prevent malware being installed along with the boot up sequence. Since the flash drive we have just created has not been digitally signed, even though the Windows 10 image file is from Microsoft, Secure Boot will not allow it to install the program. In this case we have to go into the BIOS and disable Secure Boot. Once Windows 10 is installed, you can then re-enable Secure Boot. Now just click on Close and the job is done. If you look at the device window at the top, you will see the current flash drive with the name you gave it. Well, congratulations, you've just created a bootable flash drive which will install Windows 10 Build 1909 on any suitable computer. If you like this video, please give it a like and also subscribe to this channel. Thanks very much, and I hope to see you again soon.